I am a genetic scientist, and I specialize in allergens. As you may or may not know, most allergic reactions are caused by exposure to an allergen trigger. Although your environment plays a part in allergies, they're often hereditary, meaning they're based on your genetics and can be passed on through generations. I find it very interesting research, and perhaps it's a quirk of mine, but I also enjoy controlling the very thing that controls so many of you. Allergies can control what you eat, where you go, and what you do. I'm here to confess to you my experiment, my magnum opus, and in doing so, prepare you for what is to come. Others who confess things that they've done are usually going through the stages of grief and loss. Denial that they've done something they shouldn't have, anger at themselves or someone else who they blame for it happening, bargaining with you why it couldn't have been helped, depression and acceptance of what they've done. I am not like the others. I don't deny what I've done. I'm not angry at the company I work for. They didn't make me do it. I did it voluntarily. I even supplied the idea. I don't need to bargain with you or you with me because there's nothing you can do to stop me, to stop us. I do not care if you die because many will, and it's for the greater good. I suppose I've accepted something. It's not what I've done, but who I am. I take joy from what I do, and there's nothing about it that needs to be begrudgingly accepted. It has always been this way, and it always will be. My heart thumps a little harder in my chest on days when our experiments are successful and primed to be released out into the world. I enjoy it, the changes we make to society. Take a problem and find a solution. Myself and my team have created something that will change the world. It will save it. Whether you survive the change is not my priority, but me saying this gives you a chance to prepare. If you are smart enough to see the signs when it begins, perhaps you can join us in the new world. This is me giving you a warning, an opportunity to live. Even if you don't believe me now, the words I say will stick in your mind for weeks, months, maybe even years. You'll wonder if it was all true. It is. You'll see, and you will know. I'm not talking about some crazy alternate universe or aliens playing with puppet strings. That's why it might be so terrifying to you, and why you should heed my warnings, because your own negligence, when the time comes, will be your doom. It's the scientists. Not just genetic-based like me, but all of them. We run your world. We control your minds, and we don't have to implant control devices when you're a baby or bug every house on your block to do it. We just tell you something, and you do the rest for us. Your trust in the work that is published is why it works so well. Your trust in professionals who know what they're talking about and do the dirty work to find the answers to your burning questions. Conflicting studies are created to make you think, to make your mind sort facts and pick sides and fight. Money is passed around to create experimental evidence that does not exist, or swallow evidence that does exist to ensure your safety. Your safety, or your demise. We do something that changes generations of DNA and let you read countless studies so you can blame the planet, yourselves, each other. It's not difficult. People are hungry for information in the age of the internet, and we can feed you conflicting information until you explode. It's for the greater good that it's done this way. We nudge a few small stones and it snowballs into something that you think is a human creation, a mutation, a natural phenomenon. But we planned the trajectory. We crafted the mutation, and we rule humanity. Sometimes the government is involved. Sometimes it's not. Those too focused on politics will never understand what it means to sacrifice for the greater good. Currently, they are doing too much talking and not enough action, so we are stepping in. We, the hidden ones in the deepest shadows of the scientific community. As I mentioned, allergies are my specialty, but the main allergens I focus on are the ones that come from food. I am proud to create the genetic mutations, the tweaks of code and little nudges in your system that encourage the creation or destruction of something in your control, but also out of it. I'm excited to head this operation under the noses of everyone. Tell whoever you want. You cannot stop me, my team, or the actions that have already been set in motion. The seeds have already been planted, dormant in another generation before yours, now resting in you. It will spread faster than anything that came before it. Lactose intolerance is tame. Your bowels struggle to break down a substance, so your gut bacteria try their hand at it instead, creating gases and irritating your intestines until it's all out of your system. Gluten intolerance is manageable, but from there we move to celiac disease. For those with celiac, gluten can tear you apart from the inside out, create gaping holes and grinding away your intestinal walls, destroying your ability to absorb food and nutrients, permanently if you're not careful. Peanuts were slow, but you can see what it's become. Peanut allergies have increased in frequency and severity over several decades. A relatively harmless food item that can cause a deadly anaphylactic reaction. Throats closing, suffocation. Without epinephrine to inject immediately and a trip to the hospital, it can easily be fatal. Something so simple. This is not God's work. This is not a desirable quality, and there's no benefit to these mutations, so why would we continue spreading them as a species? This is experimentation. This is our scientific discovery and growth. Maybe my lack of sympathy is a bit psychotic, but it is a gift to work on something of this magnitude, to have such a place in the world that you can play God. Not everyone is cut out for it. None of us in the darkness are threatened by the risk of being caught. You have no proof, and you would not be able to distinguish what proof was even if I slapped you in the face with it. Genetics are complex, and they're not easy to transmit like a disease through a cough or some blood. They are not air or waterborne. They are slow, steady, and unavoidable. Years of work for a long-awaited but satisfying payoff. All scientists are involved, whether they are aware of it or not. Those who would be nervous and uneasy with such a problematic cause are part of the passive group. Those who do not know what their research is for. The cure, we tell them. It is not for the cure. It is for the disease, the ailments, allergies, anaphylaxis. I will tell you where it's heading. My greatest achievement will stem from one of the empiric industries that rule the food world. Meat. We will destroy the market because the world is not moving fast enough and the planet is suffering. Cows fill the air with methane, so that is where we will start. Eventually, it will be pigs and chickens, turkey and fish. Eventually, you won't be able to have any of it. It will start slow, or it will seem slow. The experiments have been thorough, and the effect is clear. In the beginning, it will make your stomach queasy, your intestines uncooperative. Follow your new rules, or face the mediocre consequences. You might laugh at that, but as less and less of you are able to eat beef without significant gastric distress, the more you will turn to us for answers. We will tell you exactly what you want to hear. All of you. Then you can fight amongst yourselves. Protest brands and industries that provide it for you, change your diet, talk to your doctors, or don't. Everywhere you turn for information, we will be there. Whispering. The industries will not struggle. Not yet. They have already begun the process of artificially creating meat and better plant-based products. They will survive this stage, but they're not moving fast enough, so we will push them to move a little bit faster. Meat will be avoidable at first, but some will not avoid it. We'll call it natural selection. Those who refuse to accept their new direction. There is nothing you can do. The planet needs drastic changes, and we have 11 years before our current trajectory is irreversible. The next generation will be anaphylactic. Some of you will be too. Hospitals will be overflowing with those who do not listen, and there will not be enough epinephrine to go around. Abolishing some of the global population will only benefit our cause. Now, when you must avoid beef, you will turn to the others: pork, chicken, turkey, and fish. But the familiar feeling will begin again, that internal organ distress signal that you now know like the back of your hand. Ignore it if you dare. Industries will fall if they cannot keep up. Only the strong will survive that have the money and the technology to find a better solution. All your meat will be artificially produced without the triggers that come from animals that are alive, or will be entirely plant-based. There will be no mass-producing animals, no mass consumption of food that would be better fed to the homeless and the hungry, water that could quench the thirst of hundreds of thousands given back to the people, instead of hundreds of thousands of unnecessary farm animals. Everything will benefit the planet. Through the chaos and the madness, we will find peace. When all is said and done, you can blame whoever you want for the destruction. God, Mother Nature fighting back, a science experiment gone wrong, a simultaneous disaster in everyone's genetic code. Cast fault wherever you please, but you hearing this now, you will know it was mine. A glorious experiment that will go exactly as planned. You are only in danger if you choose to be. It is your decision to heed or ignore the warnings I give you, and the warnings of your own body. You deserve whatever consequences, or benefits, arise from the path you take. I had no desire to become vegetarian or vegan, but this is for the greater good, the sake of the world. For my research, I have done it. You will too.